Hey, what's up, yo? It's Noka2 here with the Comic Book Hall. As usual, first of all, I want to start off by thanking everyone who has taken their time to watch my video and leave a comment. I appreciate your time. Let's just get started. So, first of all, we have Amazing Spider-Man number 55, second printing with the red ink. I think everybody knows about this book. Gleason cover. The first print sold out with the white spider and inking. I like both. I like the red and the white. The white does pop. When it first came out the gate, I think it may have surprised some of the retailers, and the market got flooded. It hit as high as $50. Which I was surprised. I was able to secure a couple of copies at regular price, but there was no way I was paying $50 for that book out of the gate. Amazing Spider-Man is one of the most highly printed comics. It's funny as how now they do second printings, and there's already a third printing planned. There's a creator owned printing that goes for quite a bit of money. After the first printing hit $50, it's now climbed back down and is more in a reasonable price range of $20. It's interesting to see, back when Detective 881 came out, there really wasn't a lot of second printings at that time. And, that book is $100 consistently price book. And they did make other printings later, but when it initially came out, there really wasn't a second printing. I think the 55 white inking would have done something like that. But of course, Marvel's going to capitalize on the heat, and they've now made 3 printings. So, I bought a couple of copies of that. After the first printing, everybody kind of was aware of it, and retailers, they didn't limit the number, and they ordered heavily. So I suspect the second printing has an even higher print run than the first printing. So I did go on a road trip a few times to visit a couple of comic shops that I'd never been to before. I was getting a little claustrophobic, I guess, staying in. Thought I'd go out and take a road trip. So I went to a couple of shops I'd never been to. They're each probably about an hour and 15 minutes away each direction, return home. And the one comic shop I went to was a nice little shop. It's in a town that has probably about 80,000 population. So the owner was there, and he said they do have a fair amount of collectors in the area. It was a decent shop. They didn't have a lot of back issues, and the back issues were, I guess they were reasonably priced. I didn't buy any particular back issues. I did buy some back issues that were still on the rack at cover price, and I got a few books at a 50-cent bin, and this is one of them. The Maze Agency, number 19, an early Adam Hughes cover for 50 cent. That's a nice cover, 50 cent. Totally Awesome Hulk, number 12. I wasn't sure if I had that, but for 50 cent, I wasn't going to pass it up. I actually got 2 copies of that. Young Avengers, number 3 for 50 cent. Another American Chavez cover. It's right now, there's no money on it right now, but it's not quite in there, man. There's a couple of cover dings, but for 50 cent, I was like, why not? I did get this on New Comic Wednesday a couple of weeks ago. Really liked the cover. X-Men Legends. What is this up here? I just noticed. Oh, that's something on the outside. X-Men Legends. Number 1, the variant cover. Really dig the cover with the X Factor Cyclops costume. Now, if you didn't know, the X-Men Cyclops Marvel Legends action figure is the chase figure for the Build-A-Figure Warlock, and that figure goes for quite a bit of money, $70. even loose, that figure is probably a $60 figure. So if you ever see it for cheap, get it. I watch it on an auction line all the time and never see it go for under $50. It's funny is when I was buying that line, I was like, I wasn't really caring for the Build-A-Figure, and I'm like, yeah, I don't really. It's not my favorite costume, Cyclops. I'll pass it by. And now that I want to Build-A-Figure, I can't build it without the piece that came with Cyclops, and I can't find that figure anywhere. Anyway, this I did get for cover price at that same store. Actually, I got it for less than cover because he gave me a 20% discount. So it's $3.99 cover. So I paid $3.20 for this book, roughly $3.21. So Doctor Strange $3.84, Donny Cates run $3.85. Wasn't sure if I had this one, so I picked it up. I was pretty sure I had a copy of $3.85, but for $3.20, I was going to buy it, and then $3.86. Now, the Donny Cates run, I've been to a lot of comic shops, and that's usually sold out. And if you look online, the run can command together a decent amount of money. So I've been trying to pick them up if I can find them for cheap. I wasn't quite sure if I had it, so that's why I bought it for cover or 20% off cover. I did have it. I went to a dollar sale and I found these books, $3.86, 2 more copies, $3.87, also for $1. Got a couple of copies of that. $3.88. A couple of copies of that. And then $3.89. All of these were $1. Definitely worth it. Actually, I got these two, $3.90, all for $1. Now, when I was there, those were the ones that were bagged and boarded, but they also had a bunch of others that were not bagged and boarded. At first, I wasn't going to get them because they weren't bagged and boarded, but after being there for a while, not finding a ton of comics, I decided to go back and get all of the Doctor Stranges by Donny Cates that weren't even bagged and boarded, and I'm glad I did. I got Damnation Limited Series, also by Donny Cates. 4 copies of number 1. They're all in pretty decent grade, actually, for being raw. I picked this up just for the cover. Doctor Strange number 20. It is not a Donny Cates. $3.87, $4. Four more copies of $3.88. Two copies of Damnation number 2. And then the variant copy of Damnation number 2. All for $1 each. That was a decent deal. And then they had this, the Doctor Strange Peach Momoko cover, the Immortal Hulk variant. That's the front and back of the cover. I've shown this book before because I like this cover of the Immortal Hulk variants. And for $1, I think it's definitely worth $1. Let's see. What else did I find for $1? I wasn't sure if I showed this already, but this is Blade 2, the movie adaptation for $1. Anytime I see these, particularly in high grade for $1, I'm going to pick them up. Night Stalkers number 15, awesome Blade cover. Probably about a year ago, this book got hot and was going for $20 a piece. I bet you I have probably 10 copies of this now. When that Blade relaunch comes out with what's the guy's name? Ursula Mashala. When that comes out, I think that's gonna go bonkers.
Hi.
Oh, hi, Max. How are you?
Good.
What do you have here?
A figure.
Oh, all right. You want me to show this?
Okay.
All right, we're going to have a little pause in the comic hall. So my son, he has been steady pilfering my action figure collection.
Nah.
And
You bought it.
recently we went to a comic store.
World's best comics.
World's Greatest Comics. And he decided to pick up a figure as I picked up some books, which I will show. It's a nice little store. So this is the figure he picked out, which is, what is it, Max?
Spider-Man teenager form, I guess.
Yes, from what movie?
Avengers Infinity Wars.
That's right, Avengers Infinity War. So this is the Tom Holland character from Avengers Infinity War. Very nice figure. It's a Marvel Select. I don't think they've made a Marvel Legends version of this with the space armor, Iron Man armor. Yeah. It's got tentacles, pretty articulate. It came with they come with an extra head, Max?
They come with extra arms.
Extra arms?
That's why.
Yeah, it comes with extra arms, but I thought you could change out something. You can change the head out?
No.
What can you change out?
Only the arms. And the hands.
Oh, that's right. The hands. The hands. That's right. Well, that's a pretty cool figure there. I really like the articulation. The paint job looks very accurate and close to the movie. Well, I appreciate you sharing the figure. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. See
Bye.
you. Bye. All right. So that's his foray into the comic video, I guess. He's slowly getting into wanting to be, but he's not quite ready all the way for his own video. So we did, like I said, we went to this shop called World's Greatest Comics, and I did buy a couple of books there. Let's see, what did I buy there? Got this book there for cover price, which is Spider-Man number 19. Great looking Miles Morales cover. I did not have that book. But what I did find, which I think is a shamefully undervalued book. This is my second copy. It is easily, he had it on the wall and graded it as a very fine plus. DC Comics presents number 26. As everyone knows, this is the first appearance of Starfire, Raven, and Cyborg in the little preview there. There is a subscription crease, if you can see in the middle there. It's a newsstand, obviously. And he had it on the wall for $80. You know, I took it out. I had him take it out and look at it. And it is a very sharp copy with, other than the creases that you can see there, there's really nothing that breaks color. So I do believe that this copy, if I had it cleaned and pressed, because the pages are probably off-white, I did put some paper in the middle of the comic, archive paper, so that it would stop the aging process. But that is a clean book. And for $80, I thought that was well worth it. You know, if you look at it on the auction, this would probably, in this condition, go for $100+. My copy that I have currently is easily a 9294. This copy may press out to be in a higher grade. We'll see. I do like this copy. I think that this book is so undervalued. It's just, I mean, you think about it, Cyborg. I mean, Cyborg is a huge character in DC Comics. Has been in movies, you know, Starfire and Raven on a DC streaming show. It's just, I just don't know what else to say about this book. But Glad to add another comic to my collection. Another copy to my collection. So, the other book that I got there, which was a big book, for me at least, I bought this book here. Now, I have wanted this book for a while, and one of my biggest regrets for Amazing Spider-Man 300 was passing on a near mint copy in a town approximately 2 hours from here. No, 3 hours from where I live. I had gone there for work, and they had a really crisp copy for $400. This was probably a year and a half ago. It was raw, and I did not pick it up, like a total moron. So I've been watching copies go, and 9.2s are going for close to, $1,000. I mean, these books now per point per grade is probably $100, and so I knew this store had this book, and actually I thought he had a 9.4 for $750, which was a no-brainer now, which is why I was going back to get it, but it ended up being the 9.2. And but it looks really nice in here. I really thought that it was undergraded. I mean, the spine, there's no spine ticks that break color. Actually, you can't really see any spine ticks. And, I asked the owner of the store if he had the grader notes, because he had quite a few CGC books, so I figured he was on a subscription with them. And so, he said he was also surprised it came back at 9.2, and he couldn't remember the grader notes, so we pulled them up, and he showed me. And from the best we can tell is they took off 0.4 points for, I don't know if you can tell or not at this angle with the light glare, but there appears to be, it looks like maybe a fingerprint smudge right here. And I don't know what that is, a fingerprint smudge, but apparently it's enough to drop this book from, in my humble opinion. I mean, there are no spine ticks on the back cover of the black spine that breaks color of any sort. And, the note said there was a fingerprint smudge on the front, and there's stress on the spine, which, there's maybe a little rolling on here, but this comic was not pressed or cleaned. And so it came back at a 9.2. If I really had any intention of selling this book, this is a book that I would crack open and get cleaned and pressed and regraded. But since it's really just for my personal collection, I probably would never do that. But I do think that this might grade higher with a proper pressing and cleaning. So $750, I think that that's a good price, because this book is just continually increasing in value year by year. So I'm glad to have picked it up for that price. So another book that I found online, this is an eBay purchase. I've been after this book for a while. I think I paid fair price for it. Batgirl number 12, the Art Germ variant. Now, this does complete my collection of all of the Art Germ covers for Batgirl, Birds of Prey. And it's a beautiful cover. I mean, this book in 9.6 consistently goes for about $125. The seller graded at a 9.2. Didn't say why, just said that it's a 9.2. And so when I got it, I did, he did offer a little discount, and so it was $76 shipped. And when I got it, it's pretty sharp. The only thing that's there, if you can see it, is that right there in the corner. There's some spine ticks, and one very small one breaks color. And because of that, I do believe that is accurately graded at a 9.2. Could that press out? Maybe. But again, it's not something that I'm interested in doing. And in fact, probably the cost of pressing this out would not negate the fact that it wouldn't increase the value, I guess is what I'm trying to say, as much, because the cost of pressing and cleaning it, I could buy one already pressed and cleaned in a 9.6 and pay what it would cost. I guess if I'm explaining that right. I guess the price and cleaning to get to this to get this comic to a 9.6 would be the same as if I actually bought a graded copy at 9.6. So it's not worth my effort. So anyway, but I'm glad to have it in my collection, added to my collection. Got this Patriotica, cover by Elizabeth Torque did this cover. They've been doing a bunch of covers that are Adam Hughes homages. This is not one of them, but I guess it's homage in certain ways by her presentation. This is a book that is getting hot, and I do believe it will get hotter when the live action stream is released, and that is Captain America All New with the Falcon on the cover. That book probably is a $10 to $15 book now. Depending on the series, that book will go up. So let's see. What else do I have to show? I got this store exclusive variant, Batman The Adventure Continues. I actually don't even know what issue this is, but this is the David Nakayama variant cover. It's funny as I don't even know what issue number it is, but I like the cover. He did a few of these with Harlequin and I can't remember who all he did. I think he did maybe Mr. Freeze, similar, all serial based covers, I guess you could say. And I like this one. I think I paid $20 for that. The Gwenom versus Carnage #1 second printing, great cover by Inhook Lee or Lee Inhook. Cover price. When his variant came out as 1 in 50 or 1 in 100, I mean, it sold out and went up in value. And I think retailers probably ordered heavy on this. So the second printing, we'll see what it does. Long-term hold. I found another copy of Legends of the Dark Knight, first appearance of Robin King. Now, this was $14, which I think is reasonable. It got hot when it first came out. Graded, it's probably $100 book in this condition, maybe $125. This would grade to 9.6. I'm sure of that. And so for $14, making it my fourth copy, I think that's reasonable. Found this for $1. Star Wars Canon, The Last Padawan. Anytime I can find this series in high grade for $1, any issue, it's not the money issue, obviously, I will pick it up for $1. Got this for cover only. This is Luciano Perillo cover. This is just a beautiful cover. Not going for anything. It's worth cover price, $3.99. The problem with Dynamite is they print too many covers of the same issue that makes all the other issues, in my opinion, not worth much. There's probably, I don't know, 6 different variants for this same picture, just in different color tones or virgin or, off-white sketch. It just detracts from collectors wanting to pay a lot for this, although this issue did sell out. And I only bought cover A, or whatever cover number this is, just for the cover. It's a beautiful cover. Same with this issue here. I bought the cover, Dynamite #5 by Saddam. Also a great looking cover. Saddam had also done another cover that I thought was awesome that sold out. Same issue of Dynamite. They have all these different color schemes, off tone, black and white, virgin, etc. But this was laying on my floor, standing up, and my wife was in my office. She says, "What in the world?" And I'm like, "I bought it for the cover, obviously." Oh shucks. Got this book here for $2. Star Wars #1, Outlander. A lot of the Dark Horse comics are so hot. What do I want to say? It's the first appearance of Aurora Singh. It's probably a $40 book. Some of the stores will no longer put out Dark Horse comics because there's so many first appearances that are going that catch on fire. They're afraid to miss out at FOMO, right? So they don't even put out back issues of Star Wars anymore, which I think is I mean, I guess from a business standpoint it seems reasonable, but I mean, where do you stop? Do you not put out any comics for back issue sales? I don't know. It's kind of a turn off. So this comic came out last week, and it sold out immediately, and it's already a $20 book. Beautiful cover. Marvel Voices Legacy #1. This is a $20 book now with Miles Morales on the cover. And the reason why I'm showing this, besides this being a great cover, I got kind of a hot book alert, right? Hot book alert. So when I was looking up the value of this comic on eBay, just to see what it goes for, because a few weeks ago I had kind of spec'd on a Spider-Man variant cover of Miles Morales that didn't really do anything. I thought it was a great looking cover. Wish I could find it around here. I know I bought like 5 copies of it, but it doesn't go for anything but cover price. And this one here, it goes for $20. So when I was looking it up, this book initially wasn't going for anything. Another Miles Morales cover, right, by Brian Stelfreeze. Variant edition. This book goes for $20. At first, when I looked it up, I just looked up Marvel Voices #1, not paying attention. This was a legacy, and I got all of this. And this is a $20 book now. But what the hot book is this book here. Marvel Voices #1, the Barbershop, edition, which, initially I got this book. I was like, oh, that's a cool concept. Miles Morales, Black Barber, all that entails, the culture behind it. And I was like, man, I'm going to pick a couple of those up. So I did pick up a few of these books. I think I have 4 copies laying around here somewhere. I could only find 2 right now. And when I looked this book up, all the $20 copies have sold out. This book is now, the last sale went for, I think, $68, and all the other listings now are 70 plus. I was shocked. And then I was trying to say, well, what's going on in here? Now, there is a first appearance in this, Children of the Atom or something like that. But I think what it really boils down to is the first appearance, the cover, and also what's in it. What's in it is a bunch of short stories. It's based on a podcast. I, again, did not have any idea what this really was. This was truly a cover by. There are short stories by all of these different artists. Some are rappers. Method Man has a 2-page short story that he wrote in there, which is kind of cool. And so I was like, oh man, that's awesome. And so I found it in my stacks of comics in my office and decided to put it in Mylar. I might have shown this before, but was not aware that this was a $70 book now. It'll be interesting to see if this continues to go up. This is a great cover by also variant edition. This was not a ratio either, to my knowledge. This was just a cover C for this book, and it is the most recent sale was $65, maybe $68, something like that, and then now all the listings are $70. No more cheap copies, so you might be able to find it at LCS. This is only a year old in the regular cover price books, or maybe even on the rack, to be honest. So that's my hot book alert for you there. And since we're at 30 minutes, I think I'm going to end it there and say peace. That's Mahal.